It's Emily with veevonderland. Happy Monday, everyone, or whatever day it is that this video actually gets aired. Today is my very first day on campus as a university student. As you can see, my studio is in my dorm right now. It's a little bit different. My hair is a little bit different too because the climate here is a little different, so my hair is kind of acting a different way, but no worries. So if you're wondering why I'll be switching between different studios or why it'll look a little bit different, that's why I'll be commuting from home to living in my dorm a lot, so you'll get a variety of backgrounds. Let's just jump into today's tutorial. Today, I am going to be doing a very easy college makeup look. This is great for beginners. I'm going to be going over tips and tricks as well as a lot of the top makeup products that a lot of beauty editors from various different magazines like Elle, Vogue, and all that jazz, 17. Those are the different magazines that I kind of did research and I looked at all the articles, and so I actually have some of the items here that a lot of them recommended, and I'll tell you if it's worth it or not and if there is a dupe. First thing that everyone always needs is primer. I don't care if you're new to makeup or you've done makeup before. I think primer, investing in a really good primer is a great first step. What is primer for those of you who are new here to makeup and to this channel? Welcome. Primer is basically the thing that you need in order to coat and prime your skin so that it's a lot more easy and even to apply foundation onto. And so that's why I go for all different types of primers depending on the kind of look, whether I want a matte or a silky glossy finish on my skin. And so the one that I'm going to use, since it's fall and fall usually means matte, or you want something that's not super like glass skin per se, I'm going to be using the Bare Minerals Prime Time Original Foundation Primer. And you know, it's kind of interesting because even though this one has very like a glass skin sort of look for the product, you'd expect it to be, you know, very, what's the word, glassy. I don't know another word for glassy, but very glossy, right? But as you can see, it's quite matte actually, even after I've gone ahead and I've just, you know, applied it. And so it is moisturizing, but it's also very matte. And so that's what I like to use. A lot of the articles were talking about how, yeah, you want to be able to make sure you have a good primer that works well with sunscreen. By the way, make sure you put sunscreen after your moisturizer, before your primer. As long as you know what works well with the sunscreen that you're using, I think that would be a good primer for everyday use. By the way, just FYI, just so you know, this is the sunscreen that I always use. This is the Shiseido Urban Environment Oil Free UV Protector. And this one actually works very well with all of the primers and foundations that I've used so far, whether they are oil-based or not. Interestingly, even though this is an oil-free sunscreen, it works well with oil-based and non-oil-based products. So I would highly recommend that sunscreen before you put on any of the primers. As for foundation recommendations, I found that a lot of people were going more for products that do multiple things at the same time. And so I saw a lot of like all over concealers, I saw a lot of tubed foundations, and I think a lot of people are just really going for convenience and what looks good as well in terms of covering your acne, but something that's also very versatile. And so I saw this exact product on like several different articles. They were like, oh yeah, the Lancome Teint Idol Ultra Wear all over concealer. The reason why is just so easy. As you can see, maybe you can see this or not, there's a little bit of a blemish, but what I'll just go ahead and do if I have the pimples is I'll just kind of go in right here. All right, as you can see, I don't have like the most perfect skin. I'll just kind of rub it in just to cover it up. And I think just the simplicity of it is great because it's not really like caking on anything to your skin, so it doesn't feel really like unnatural or like suffocating for your skin. And I think that's great. Another one that I saw a lot that I don't have yet, but you will see in my other videos and I will tell you if it's good or not, is the New Skin Foundation by Yves Saint Laurent. I'm so bad at saying YSL. Yeah. Anyways, moving on. I've already gone ahead and put my sunscreen, primer, foundation, and now it's time for the brows. I've noticed that a lot of different like beauty influencers have done their things differently. Like sometimes obviously they'll do the primer, foundation, but sometimes they'll do the eyes before all the foundation, or they'll do the brows first and then they'll do the contour and then they'll do the eyes. So I guess there really isn't like one way you can do it in terms of like order of sequence, but for sure, if like whenever you do your skin, when you get to that part, it's always you have to do the sunscreen, then the primer, then the foundation, because if not, the things get kind of lumpy and chunky and you don't want that on your skin. So the brow pencil that I'm using today is the Benefits Cosmetics Precisely My Brow Pen. You will see me use various different products. I will be investing more in brow products shortly, so stay tuned. I've noticed that for a lot of the articles that I found on the internet is that they use like some sort of gel. Hourglass does an amazing job with their brow gel. NYX also has a pretty good clear brow gel. It literally feels like Elmer's glue though, not gonna lie. So if you don't like that tacky feeling on your brows, that it's like, and it's like very like solidified, maybe you don't want that. But if you want something very, very like light, I would go with Hourglass, because even though this is a shade lighter, it's a dark brown, at least that's what the package says, it still is pretty prominent. And you know, you don't want your brows to look too thick, too voluminous, because then you're gonna have to one up everything else and make everything else look a little bit more like flawless, add more makeup on, and you want to keep things natural for college and every day. And then honestly, I think my brows look fine as they are, but you know, when there is like a little thing right here, if I want to just make sure that I get a little bit more hair there, I'll just go in with this really thin pencil and I'll just kind of like shade it in a little bit, you know what I mean? And then I'll go in with a spoolie and I'll just kind of go opposite to the way that the hair's roots are, and then I'll go brush and comb over it so that it's just well blended. You know, surprisingly, a lot of people didn't actually talk about eyeshadow products for some reason. I guess they just never really thought that that was super like important. They also didn't talk about contour a lot, but I've got you on ways to contour, things to do for making like a really good contour that's daily, that's not too bad on your skin. But a lot of people were saying that Too Faced products can be good to use. I personally think they're pretty expensive for just one palette. So this is what like the Too Faced Peach palette looks like. But as you can see, like the colors here are, they're like pinks and browns, but I think something that would be better to use that I've personally been using a lot is the Stop Bullying veevonderland Cosmetics palette and the Because of You I Dance All Day veevonderland Cosmetics palette. Those two are great to use, and if you don't really know what kind of looks you can achieve, let me tell you, there's so many different looks that you can achieve with these two products. My whole channel is pretty much based on all the different looks that I can use with veevonderland Cosmetics products. I just truly believe that this is just such a great brand, and a brand that just has great products. And so everything actually from veevonderland Cosmetics is 50% off. Make sure to check out the link in the description below. Make sure to go ahead, treat yourself, prepare yourself for college. I'm actually still unpacking a lot of my stuff. So the palettes that I have are the veevonderland Cosmetic palettes, but they're pretty, like, I use them religiously, so they're not gonna be like super pretty. I've like, you know, there's like some divots, so bear with me. But first thing you wanna go in with is this color right here. This is the You Move My Body, and it's really just like this light cream beige color, and I like to just add that all the time as my base, just because you need it for when you're, like say when you're tired. Right here, I think I've been kind of tired. It's kind of weird for me when I'm in a different place and it's hard for me to adjust and sleep well because just, you know, mattress is different. So as you can see, my eyes here are a little bit discolored, which is totally fine. I'll just go in with that color, and it's okay if it's lighter than your skin. Like obviously I'm not the most fair skinned person. I just want that extra layer of coverage, at least in the form of a powder, so that I can blend it in with the other powders that I will go put on my eye. I said powder a lot, but it's kind of needed. So, and as you can see, it kind of covers up my eye bags as well, which I think is great. There we go. I'm already like 50% more awake and alive, so that's great. Now I'm going to go in with some brown. We're gonna move straight into like this brown. Usually I do like several different browns or whatever, but I'm gonna use the color and this is the color that I'm going to use. It's kind of like wet sand, kind of brownish. I'm just using a fluffy brush, by the way, for everything. I feel like for college students, they're like, we're lazy, we ain't got no time. So I'm trying to make it very simple, but in a way that looks good for every day. and something that you like would want to do if you have like a cute guy in your, you know, in your class or something. You don't want to just be like, oh yeah, I like barely tried, but you want to look good, right? Of course, you're there for, you know, for studying purposes, but if there happens to be a cute guy, you know. So this is the Morphe M433 brush, by the way. It's just like a fluffy brush. But yeah, I realize that not everyone's a monolith, so I'm just gonna try to do makeup that is kind of more universal. And it's always universal that you put whatever color that is the darkest here. I'm not gonna go all the way, actually. Normally I do this whole swooping thing, but I'm gonna kind of stop right here, as you can see. I love this palette so much, guys. Like, I've used this palette all day, every day. It has been with me just since, I guess, my whole makeup trip too, my whole makeup journey. So veevonderland Cosmetics has never let me down. I'm letting y'all know, like, if you're new to makeup, if you've been in the makeup game for a while, if you love makeup, hate makeup, but want to put something on your face, like, I'm telling you, these palettes are a lifesaver. But yeah, so this is kind of what I've got so far. I've got kind of a brown texture here. It does kind of show that there's a little bit more of a crease here. It makes my eyes look a little bit bigger. And we're just gonna go in with the same color, just a little bit, and we're gonna kind of like squint. I always do this. This has been very trendy lately. Like, everyone's like, oh yeah, you wanna accentuate your eye bags, like your natural eye bags. And I think it works, honestly. Like, whatever color is like the main color or the color that's the nearest to the outer corner of your eye, that's kind of the color that you wanna put here. Maybe not the darkest color that you're gonna use, but maybe like one of the middle colors, just to kind of contour and to show. You don't want to put it everywhere on here, because then you're just gonna make your eyes look like you have big eye bags that you just covered with the light powder. So you want to go for like this part, just to kind of line it to show like, hey, I'm contouring this part. That's like something that I don't think people can really tell. So like, as you can see, if I do this, I'm only going this bottom part, but I'm not going this whole part because I just shaded this top part with the light powder. Remember that. You want to look cute, not super tired. And then if you need to go back in with that, you move my body powder and then just put some on the top here again. But don't like blend it in too much so it's more like lighter, you know what I mean? Like, make it more like a highlight. People's eyes tend to be drawn more to lighter colors, and that's why when you do like the contouring, you want the light colors at the peaks of things. As you can see, it definitely looks like my eye is bigger here because I put it the dark here and then the light here because it's at the peak of the eye. And you know those contacts that make your eyes look bigger? That's pretty much kind of what it looks like, this, like what I just did, but without the contacts. Since this is the first day of school, I don't want people to think that I wear makeup all the time and that I'm like a mega try hard, you know? I still want to look cute, but not like too much. We're just gonna go in with a little bit of light pink here just to kind of blend in this brown with the pinks. And so I'm actually gonna use not the Stop Bullying palette, but the I Don't Care palette. And it's very interesting because, sorry, this is the one that I use a lot, so that's why it doesn't look like the prettiest. But like, for example, this one and these two colors are gonna be a mixture of what I wanna use, because this one's like really bright pink. It's very cute. It's called They Talk About Me. As you can see right here, this is like more of a rosy pink, kind of like this sort of pink. And this one's more of like a brownish bronze gold sort of one that's muted. So I'm gonna go in with the lighter one here first, and I'm gonna do this one. And I'm just gonna mix it all on one brush. And this one is like, yeah, okay, I could swoop it. You know, I could just put it in the middle here. As you can see, it's a little bit more pink here than would be this one, which is obviously, it's normal because I just put on pink on myself, but I just like adding a little bit of pink, a little bit of feminine, just because why not? It's refreshing. And you want to look like refreshed and new and ready and rejuvenated for your first day of college, or just every day in college. Like, I know y'all are doing all-nighters. I know it is tiring because that is me all the time, but you don't want to look like you did an all-nighter. You know what I mean? There's a difference. So now I'm gonna go in with the same thing that I just did in terms of my brows. I'm gonna go in with the Precisely My Brow Pencil by Benefit Cosmetics, and I'm using that as an eyeliner. The reason why I don't use black eyeliner or liquid eyeliner is because my skin is oily, and after a few hours of like rubbing my eyes or just doing whatever it is that I'm doing, it smudges and I look like a panda, and I already did like the work here, so that's why I just want like something that is thin to use in order for in order to be able to draw better. But yeah, this just doesn't smear either. It's almost like a chalk-ish sort of texture. But yeah, I just go in here and I just kind of like do what I need to do for that crease. Now that I've done my eyeliner, as you know, it's time for the mascara. I'm going to use the Beautiful Days mascara by veevonderland Cosmetics. This is my all-time favorite mascara. All of a sudden, TikTok has been producing all these like, oh, you need this mascara, you need this mascara. But honestly, this is the only one that's really worked for my lashes. And it's not like my lashes are like super short or anything. They tend to go down a lot though, but this definitely makes it a lot more noticeable. Like I literally just did one coat, but there's definitely a difference. You can already see like how much more visible my lashes are with this mascara. We are almost done, folks. Now, instead of contour, I actually thought that what would be smarter is the way that you do your blush, so your blush placement. That's just because contouring can take a lot of time and it's not something that you necessarily need to do every day. If you do want to do it every day and do something like really quick that is very easy to control, I would advise using the Fenty Beauty medium match sticks. These are literally just sticks that are magnetic and then you just put them on your face. Like I'll show you really quick on my nose. I can literally just do a couple lines here like this and kind of rub, and that's like a nose contour. So that's really easy for that part. When you do this part, it does take a little bit of time to blend in. But I just thought what would be easier is to do a blush cheek applicator. This is the Giorgio Armani A blush in the color Peach. I think Peach is a really nice tone to use because it's, one, is very popular, two, it's really refreshing. It's like very youthful. So that's why I like to use this color. You realize how I put it up where it's like this instead of doing just like this or all around like this, and that's supposed to lift my face and kind of give it that snatched look. And that's honestly partially like part of contouring. It does make your face look a little bit more elegant because when you snatch up your face and kind of have it more lifted, that's normally a model-esque sort of frame in terms of your facial structure that you're going for. And so I'm just doing a little bit right here and just patting it. This is definitely like a watery type of tint. As you can see the difference here, like everything looks a little bit more snatched here. And that's just simply because of blush placement. So I find that when I do this, I don't really need to contour, or at least I don't feel the need to contour. Lastly, you can also use this as a lip tint. Why not? Because, you know, it matches with the palette of everything else that you've done, right? But if coral is not really your color, or peach is not really the color that you think looks good on you, I do have this really cute lipsticks. There's actually a ton of lipsticks you can get from veevonderland. These are only 2 of the 4 wonderful colors from the Dream set. That's also 50% off, link in the description. But as you can see, this is the color Nude. I use this color religiously all the time and it looks really good, very effortless. And even though this is a kind of matte lipstick, because lipsticks are, you know, by nature a little bit matte because of the pigmentation and just the ingredients, but this is a very creamy application process that goes with this lipstick. So I would highly recommend for every day. Very easy, lasts a long time, and looks fabulous on all lips. And last but not least, you want to look fresh and just rejuvenated, so I'm gonna go in with the Wanna Be Me setting spray by veevonderland Cosmetics. Look at how this shimmers and shines. Notice how I didn't put any setting powder, but I still use it for that luminous glow, illuminating, refreshing finish, and so that's what I'm going to be doing. Honestly, I carry this in my bag and I just use it whenever I want to, just because of how good it makes my skin look. It literally is just like a power juice drink for your skin, and so I would highly recommend it. All right, that's it for today's tutorial. Thanks so much for watching. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And just thank you in general for everyone who's subscribed to me, everyone who's watched and liked my videos. I just really appreciate your support. You guys are the reason why I feel so motivated to keep creating and to keep just delivering to you guys. I just, you know, am really excited for the future as well. So make sure to stay tuned. I'd really appreciate it if you could share with your friends and family. And once again, there are tons of links in the description that you could definitely check out, and we'll see you next time. See ya!